high self, law, ant, or am master. Focus on breath when mind or heart moves faster. Focus on higher when lower self is set tripping. And we'll make up the bed or clean the kitchen. When little voice speaks, inner ears open, listen. Change the world, merge action with vision. Learn through symbolism, numeric metaphysicians, extraordinarily moving with synchronism. Repetition, rendition, cognition. One with Allah from belief to fruition. Thought ammunition, mental inquisition. Circumstances will do their best once in position. Bliss you instead of bless when a Christian sneezes. Immune system of facts, mask for diseases to the source. We all return, that should be celebrated. From the body plantation, soul release, not regulated. We all fall victim, we're all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we're all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith. We all fall victim, we're all called Christian, but Islam is our faith, restore all faith.
Render unto Caesar. I don't need a Constantine, I mean a constant reminder. Sounding like my Sunday school teacher. I learned to discern a divine order. If I don't move my foot, you can't step over. Now you see why Yosh was murdered. Secret orders in the chamber, Asiatic pictures. 7 ethers or 7 esters. Settle children or a child curses scriptures. 69, an infinite number, put it together, you would discover. Finite thoughts that limits each other. There's no boundaries. Ya Allah is same energy. Different prophets with different remedies. 5 principles, same frequencies. Echo through the halls of Manipur. Don't be mad at me. Islam to the world. Philosophies and principles. You emotional over personals. Divine and national. So let my vine and fig grow. Pass the Negro. Pass the Negro.
Take a good look at my foes, they so exposed, paint in the picture you know. Halberdo, gluten free. Popo scoping up in that tree, I call them satellites. Why? Cause they hardly pointed upright, their job they have to lie. Soon as they capitalize on a ticket to court games, attorney playing judge and the bench sitting. Only there just a practitioner, but me the final decision. Stack you up and all in prison. Battery in the cell, got your E-rings. Musical ball on the iron, try to melt the steel with a teary stare. Catch a guard off guard slipping, teaching that we all more clicking. Heels of Dorothy Gale end up in Morocco tripping. Just I'm a big, so all I need to prove it. Got my own time to do it. All I need to do is just I'm a big, just I'm a big. So all I need to prove it. Got my own time to do it. All I need to do is just I'm a big.
Yes, we know it's a city. Big Cat World Champs, not Vancouver Grizzlies, not the 6 or Toronto. This is Morocco, silly. Al-Aqsa, Maghreb, green star on the flag that's red, pheasant turban on the head, living what the prophet said. This is an empire, not a continent, you liars. Black Los Indios are really Moors, said the friars of Cortez conquest. Aztecs are Olmecs, Far West Inquisition, kill shaman and queen mothers, stole golden munitions. High priest abolition, death or convert to a Christian. Bible and cross, Tordesillas treaty mission. Blessing the guns, indigenous children, killing nuns. American board in residential schools, fools with axe and help funds. Playing games with statutes, revised by herds. Enforce the Constitution, stop enforcing empty words. And speaking in color, foreign jurisdiction assumed. Should have listened to the Moorish master with the turban and the plume.
Just I'm a big, so all I need to prove it. Got my own time to do it. All I need to do is just I'm a big, just I'm a big. So all I need to prove it. Got my own time to do it. All I need to do is just I'm a big.
To see the path to build the will build. Persistently, wise we be. No clear on the goal we foresee. Terminology, empire. Development inspires those that are meant to inquire on knowledge that's been retired. Quote unquote, since you don't know, we rejuvenate truth. Spreading info, choose how you grow for thyself amongst roots. Dispute until you trust. Trust is a must to some degree. Fill up yet also flush. Health is wealth, builders do agree. It's all up to we, words we choose to use. The more truth is diffused, the less that you are confused. Don't abuse power, notice it may flourish or sour. Some make it, some take it, some give, some receive, and some cower. An hour of decision will know thyself's true position. Either represent this people or an adjective unequal. What's see-through for few is opaque for some. Under sun, nothing new. Fresh spice will grow till done.
More and more I am being guided to study more. Muslim. You Muslim call it? Yes, I am. But I'm a Moor.
Cause it's the wave, yeah?
Nah. I'm a Moor.
And last, we do the dash. I marathon in my time, stay on the line. I'm never stalling like Malcolm, I spill the facts. You still applaud and they hate, assassinate, and y'all award them. By the mass, I choose sets, word to Boston. In the lab with crew necks, herbs and tonics. In the class with scientists, doing the math, writing hieroglyphs. I'm the man with the iron fist, got a past full of darkness. Catching that ghost like I doing the most with the status of a lease home. I spend my whole life running for police cars. I spend my lifetime running for my evils. Ain't know myself, thought I was a different people. My people say they couldn't find the answers. Never heard of Moors, but know all about the Panthers. We catching cancers. Last dragon, knew I was a master. Started from a servant. Chapter 28.
We all we got.
We all we got. We all we got. We got. Oh, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Sue upon the law, put my fears in the
We all
dungeon.
we got.
We all we got.
We all we got.
Love for my mothers, brothers, enemies and others. Love for those with no shelter eaten from the gutters. Truth, a vibration so strong it heals. Truth is the second principle of our divine creed. Truth is art, for it many died and some fought. Truth doesn't apologize and need a mascot. Truth must be known and not just only love genius. Truth is not for all men, only those who seek it. Peace be still, be integrity, behold upright. Peace is a mind state, no need to be uptight. Peace in the greeting or passage when I leave. Peace will not rest but rise when you grieve. Freedom of speech taken away like sheep led to slaughter. Freedom for souls trapped, out of control kidnapped daughters. Justice or death, after that what's left? Justice for the husk, become one with the holy breath.
I was a last dragon, knew I was a master. Started from a servant. Chapter 28.
We all we got.
We all we got. We all we got. Oh, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Sue upon the law, put my fears in the
We all
dungeon.
we got.
We all we got. Staying on guard. The 5-pointed star renegade with the J scimitar. It got the thinnest blade. We blaze in the halls until the feeling fades. The game's in my heart, ain't nothing minute made. Reversing this mystery, y'all. Cursing this history, nigga. That turns burned in my mind and crime hinders me. Say hi, Timothy. This is divine ministry focused upon getting the mind about a misery.
Justice denied, ignorance prevails. Justice the balance, but I see just us in the jails. Justice can only reign with a free national name. Justice gives no pleasure or has no shame. So love speak truth, so peace can exist. For freedom to democracies not to exist. Fill out the census wrong, end up on the stock list. Tight with the fam like locks twist, the Moorish are
I was a last dragon, knew I was a master. Started from a servant. Chapter 28.
We all we got.
We all we got. We got. Oh, love, truth, peace, freedom, justice. Sue upon the law, put my fears in the
We all we
dungeon.
got.
We all we got.
And they gon' never argue with you that I'm
We
not
all
a
we
fool.
got.
Common sense was made before book sense. Canaanland Moors presents Common Sense Quick.
Let legendary. Bury me in the North Gates Cemetery, February the 4th days. Son of Mary, day ahead of my born day. Independence and law makes civil of a lost case. With case laws, we break them down like Jericho. Keeping all my lions tamed, I'm Chris Jericho. Or keep a mask on deck, I'm Rey Mysterio. Fake pandemics announced over the radio. Annoyed with the game, the joys and the pains. I'm Rob Bass, mixing with rock the hard way. I was in a lost state. Prophets stood me up right, brought me to a lost gate. Cooking like I'm Salt Bay, rapping like I'm Denzel. Malcolm X, Deja Vu, Roman J, Israel. Had no clue I lay in plain sight, but people still can't see it, so the snake's still showing up. Stakes still high, so the race still going up. Warriors of the North Gate, we not slowing up. Born in the manger, sworn to be savior. Walk through the valley of the shadows of the death dip in slavery. Looking for life, the book of Genesis. Astral plane entrances, invoke the nemesis. Abstract images of past lives kicking in. Danger, running for your life. Finish him.
Moorish or more, key man or oracle. Using Trinity powers, decipher allegorical. Lost in metaphorical, holy books are metaphysic. Facts slap a dirty Moor or a Drew Ali critic. Calling him Thomas or Walter and get your face caved. Or cut like a close shave. Drowned in my brain waves, squashed by heat waves. Activating Kundalini. Abyssinia invaded by Mussolini. Selassie I in exile. Reptile in Genesis, Negus appearing real. All I see is false evidence. VAR feminists, stomped on by elephants. Won't let go prejudice, but want Moorish benefits. When you feel the pole magnetic resonance. Apis horns of the sacred book called Maleficent. Great cosmic mothers, return to blessedness, no pestilence. Ace all the testaments. Tap into remembrance, never to forget again. Use energy right, not put spell effects on men. Wandering the earth plane with no they live shades. Keeps you a mental slave as the horizon fades. It's been decades since Christian crusades. Not enough rebellions, too many vigil bouquets. Holding on to the fence, burning on doomsday. War ruled by Mars, it might be on a Tuesday.
Canaanland Moors present Common Sense Quick. What we do here is we add some common sense thinking to everyday situations or comments that may arise. Want to give it a try?
Islam to all the Moors. All the Moors worldwide. Peace and love to all. We're here. We're here. So the first question, how should Moors respond to jury duty summons? So I've never personally been called for jury duty. So the most I could do is give my opinion and you take it however you want to take it. But it's not based in activity. It's based in put myself in the situation. I get the letter to go to court. How am I gonna respond to it? So first thing is, who's it addressed to? Because you said, how should Moors respond? So, I'm going from the perspective that I'm a proclaimed Moor. So if I'm a proclaimed Moor, then that letter should be coming to my free national name. Because I'm a proclaimed Moor. I didn't just tell myself in the mirror. I actually have letters from lawyers' offices saying that name. I also have bills in that name. I also have whatever else. So somebody can't say that's not me or whatever. So if it says Cujo L on it, I'm gonna go, because Moors are down for court and all that stuff to see what these people are up to in their venues. It ain't no big deal. I mean, you're supposed to be learning, right? If you're a Moor, who knows what the case is? Case could be a Moor. The case could be a Moor.
standing on his birthright. You guys don't have any jurisdiction or whatever like that. And you're on the jury as a Moor. You know, jury of your own peers and all that stuff. And you get to say whether this Moor goes free or whether he does 95 to life. And it's in your hands as somebody who they sent the letter to go do jury duty. You know? So, now, if it comes in a name that's not my name, that I have no idea why they would be even sending something to me in this name, because I've always dealt with these people in the name that is Free National. The return to sender and put stuff back in the stuff, and it is what it is. The fact that it's talking about jury duty, you know, that's also implying that whatever name was on it, you already opened it. That's how you know it's jury duty. But then if you check the envelope and you realize there's no this on it, there's no that on it, there's no return address on it, there's no stamp on it, why are you even opening stuff that's not even under the postal union? Rules of how mail's supposed to be sent. And somebody send you something with no return address on it, no stamp on it, name's not even yours, and then you open it. And now that you opened it, somebody's telling you about jury duty. So, you know, you would have to take it based on what you gave yourself, right? So again, to recap, if a letter is sent from somebody to me saying jury duty, if it's in the name of Free National, I might go just to see what kind of case is this? Because we deal with law. I've been there with the law dictionary and all that, taking notes and all that stuff, and look at it as a lesson. And if it came in the name that's not my name, and I opened it because I just want to see what this is, and it's telling me jury duty, and it's not my name, I still might go. If I just started studying this Moorish knowledge and all that stuff, and these guys talking about law and all this, and I don't know anything about this, and then somebody sends you something talking about jury duty, and you're not doing nothing anyways, you know, you're just sitting at the house, you might as well go and learn something. And then you go there to learn something, and then there's a Moor going up for his case. So, you know, I'm not going to play the secret whatever that's hidden in some vault of how you deal with jury duty. Maybe 500 and I'll put you on to how you really do the jury duty, because, you know what I mean, you got to know the judge and call him by his first initial with the last name, last letter, and then they're going to give you the in so that you could not do the jury duty. You ain't going through all that BS. Who's the thing sent to? You? Well, you know, if it's you, then, you know, make a decision. You're either, I'm going, or my grandma's in the hospital, I'm the caregiver, and I can't do it. My great-great-great-grandma, whatever. My hip, because I got a, you know, they could only make you do it if you're their ward. And everybody that knows, you just look up what you could do without getting locked up and then get off the jury. You'll be out of there in an hour. Just get him out of here. We don't want him. He's not a good juror. Thanks. Because it's BS, ultimately. But everything is a lesson. So with whatever you get, not just jury duty stuff. Somebody sends you something saying, 5 years ago you had a cell phone, now the bill's $800, you need to pay. Who they talking to? They talking to you? If they are talking to you, I thought you're free national and all that stuff. Why are you talking for some other name and all that? Oh, well, the secured party creditor of the exemption, but no. You just denationalized yourself. If you're free national, then that's what it is. Free national. There's no other thing going on. And if there is something else going on, it's based on knowledge, not based on some guy over there said, do this because he had 50,000 views. So we're going to do what he did because everybody did what he did. And as soon as you get all up in that realm, you're no different than the Negro, black, whoever's trying to get a benefit. When you can't get a benefit in a dead status before you do anything. Before you do anything, you have to get out of the dead status. But our people don't learn. The only ones doing something worthy are the Moors. Because we have from Noble Drew Ali to now to show that if we haven't even the score with this European yet, who we say that came out the cave and all that, they don't got knowledge and all that stuff or whatever like that they're ruling over you right now. And you're not even trying to do something about it. You just keep regurgitating the same stuff from the sellout ancestors who everybody's listening to their stuff. And the truth is avoided at all costs. Case in point. Tell me if this doesn't sound familiar. Tell me if this doesn't sound familiar.
We're not interested in interracial housing. We don't want your neighborhood. We want ours to be just as good. See, we don't want a store in your neighborhood. We don't want you coming in our neighborhood and open up stores and exploiting us and then go home and throw a bomb if we move next door out in the suburbs. We don't want your schools, but we want our schools to be the highest and the best possible for our black progeny. See, what people don't understand, we are saying and we're not asking. You see, the die is cast. As I said, we're not asking. We're saying this is the way it's going to be.
The young lady from Winnetka has stated that she saw during the marches which she participated in people who were full of fear and hatred. Mr. Lucas has said that the American Negro is either going to be free or he's going to be dead.
Now, you get this straight. You can kill all the black folks you want to, baby, but you will not kill the freedom of black folks. It's coming. We're going to get it. We fought in every one of your damn lousy wars, baby, and you give us nothing. Now, the war is going to be here because we're going to be free. Now, you kill all you want to, but we kill too.
I don't agree with the moderator nor Reverend Robinson that we want some kind of agreement. We want agreement by which we can live or die. You choose. If you won't listen to me when I make an appeal for the Negroes because you have no concern for the Negroes, listen to me when I make an appeal for America.
Oh yeah, before we do that, let's just remember we always have to back up Drew Ali and how what he told these people before this. And why don't they know? Why are they so talking so sure that they're Negroes and black people? Act 6, Divine Constitution and Bylaws. With us, all citizens / members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the Prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. So how do you have that in the 1920s, but then by the 1960s, this is how they sound?
You claim you love America. Well, we love America. But you are driving us back and you are making a Samson out of us, and we are going to pull down the pillars. Should you try to pretend that I'm crazy because I want America to be saved? And then you think we have no right to ask for something? Is it too much to ask you to grant us human dignity?
Oh no, we'll tell you why. We'll tell you why. We'll tell you why. Don't worry. I know you're mad. I know you're mad, Uncle. You want to go up there and strangle these guys. All of them, one by one. Just strangle all of them. Just right to the last breath. I know. You're mad. Don't be mad with those Europeans. It's not those Europeans' problem. It's the people who didn't tell you about your prophet is the problem. And the people who didn't tell you about the prophet look just like you. Imagine that. So don't worry about these Europeans. Realize what you missed that they got, to the point where they're going to make up a fake nation called Israel and kill all these other people and take their land. But you want to play Negro games and African games. And you know, we ain't saying nothing's wrong with Africa and all that stuff. There's nothing wrong with Africa. Nothing wrong with Al-Kabilon. There's nothing wrong with South Asia. We know this. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to the state of mind of their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine right as citizens, according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. That's what he's claiming that he wants, isn't it? Isn't that the same thing that he's claiming that he wants? To be recognized as a human being? Well, Drew Ali told them in the 20s how to get out of it. How come 60s, they're still in it? How they still in it? Ain't no way you're going to see a Moor in the 20s walking around with Fez on. You're like, hey, hold on a second. Who's this guy? See a guy walking with a turban on. Like, hey, what is going on? If in the literature, we talk about this too. In the Moorish literature, it talks about an Arab going onto the street and pulling a Moor off the street into his establishment. Now we ask the question, how many Moors are out there for this individual to walk outside his store and just find a Moor? Just pull a Moor. Hey, could you come here a second? You know how many Moors have to be out there in order for that to happen? You go outside right now and see if you see a Moor. And just wait there until you see one. Went outside and pulled a Moor off the street. So they had to be seeing these people walking around and getting down with their nationality and birthrights in the 1920s. They, our people, are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish Divine National Movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children, which is supposed to be us, can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens. Wasn't he talking about being molested by people? People not recognizing him? We're going to be like Samson and push the pillars down, kill everybody? Why are you mad? Your hair's going to grow back, Samson. Are you dumb? Why are you dumb? Your hair's going to grow back. It's not that serious. Slow down. Slow down. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights. Whoever told you about anybody? You hear anybody else tell you about divine rights before? Find me someone who told you about divine rights. And we won't wait. There's just your stuff to go do. Find me someone. When you find whoever says divine rights, just send the people. Send the names. Canaanlandguide@gmail.com. See who these people are that's talking about divine rights that you don't know. We don't know what Drew Ali told us about divine rights. Right? We know we have him as a reference point when we're talking about rights, but it not having to do with some paper or some act that was passed by some foreigners. That's not where rights come from. Rights are divine. If you don't know rights are divine, you thought some paper or some constitution gave you rights. No wonder they're violating you right now. No wonder you're getting violated. Because the people will die for lack of knowledge. Like Tasha said, not like a belief. Not like a faith. Not like a sandwiches. Lack of knowledge. Divine rights. Unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government, and not under a granted privilege, as has been the existing condition for many generations. That was 1920s. But listen what's going on in the 60s now.
Should we be put down and shot to death for this request?
Sound familiar?
If so, you can aim your guns. What the hell do you think we care about dying if you're going to deny us the right to live?
You know, this revolution is filled with so many ironies, really. First you tell us that it is manly to keep your word. All right? If you are a man, you keep your word. And now all that the black people in this country are demanding, and even the black people in the whole world are demanding, is that you keep your word.
Oh, you forgot? Hold on. Let's go back again. The Noble Drew Ali. I think you forgot. That one you forgot. You almost learned slipping and say it, and you were about to start putting the fist up and stuff, weren't you? Yeah, you're about to get it again. Just showed you that it's a fraud. Declare your free national name. Nah, you still want to do pump fists with getting into the emotional stuff with this. But this is not about emotion. This is about law. This is not about your opinion. This is about law. This is not about your perspective and how you think you want stuff to. No, this is about law. And in law, which everything revolves around law in some way, shape, or form, law is included. In law, if you do not have a nationality, you do not have rights. Which is why Drew Ali said, with us, all members / citizens must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know. Hold on a second. So you have divine rights, right? And then now he's talking about divine creed, right? So make sure you go find the people who told you about divine creed. Find all those people too. Remember, you're going to look for the divine right people, and then you're going to look for the divine creed people. Because this is in the Constitution, though. This is a common theme in the Moorish teachings with Noble Drew Ali, that creed and rights are divine before they're anything else. With us, all members / citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know, right? And know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people or Ethiopians. They're supposed to know. Remember, this is 1920s. This is not 60s. This is 1920s. 1920s, at that point, they're supposed to know they're not Negro, black, colored. We're not even going into what you're going to call yourself. We don't care what you're going to call yourself. Those things, you're not that. We'll deal with calling yourself something later. The first thing is you're not Negro, black, colored. Because you don't even know the nationality yet, because you're teaching, you're being taught about your nationality. But before you're taught that, you have to know that you're not Negro, black, colored. Because as soon as you're Negro, black, colored, here comes the emotionalism. Which is why nobody wants to deal with us, because we get emotional. We don't deal with the law. We deal with emotion. And emotion, that's you're lost already. If that's your foundation's water, you're building on water, you got problems. I hope you took into account the rising water levels when you built on water. Don't let them get you with emotions. But they always get you with emotions because, that's just our people. We have a psychosis. We're nuts.
Word. You told us we were free. Well, then show us that we're free. You told us that there is justice, equality for all in this country. Well, then stick to your word and let us see the justice and equality for all. Or else admit to us that you're not a man, you're a worm, you're afraid of us, you're afraid to give us equal stand. You're afraid that if you give us equal ground that we will match you and we will override you. And if that's what you're afraid of us, then tell us that just what you're afraid of. But don't keep hiding it from us and holding this up to us, and every time we ask you for something, you give us a little bit of something, and it's all tokenism. We don't want tokenism. And there are most black men in this world that don't want charity. And yet still every time we ask you for something, you give us a little piece, a little piece. You're playing games with us. We're not children.
If you call yourself minority, you're children. If you call yourself adjective, you're probably a child. You get it? You better get it. You better get it. That's where it starts. On both ways. For the prosperous life and all that stuff, you better get out of that. You're black and it doesn't matter what we call ourselves and all that. Because you're going to be in trouble later. When everybody else around you has nationality and you're just the only one there. Nobody else has nationality around. Hold on a second. It used to be just us and the Europeans here. Now there's all these other people around here. They're taking all the jobs and stuff like that. We're still trying to get jobs. We're still fighting for equality and equal rights and all this stuff. But Hindu came here and he's a government position. Asian came here. They got skyscraper, their own community, stuff in their own language. There used to be bush. There used to be bush up here. You guys build this whole stuff up. What happened? What happened? No, somebody had a child mind. So they're over here playing with blocks and all that stuff while people are taking over the planet. And they missed the boat. They missed the boat. And now they're complaining. The white man did it because he pulled the anchor up while we were running to the... Why were you even running? Doesn't mean we're there on time like everybody else. But you know, black time. You know, blacks are always late. No, all right. See, they just got you with the black stuff again. Now you have this thing now in your life where you're late, where you don't know where that came from. It came from you calling yourself black. It's in black time, so it doesn't matter. Because we're black. Blacks are always late. Well, all right. When you show up late and you don't get your check because all the checks ran out because you came up late, don't cry. The white man did it. Air Insta. What language you guys talk? Are you deaf or are you just a troll? You're probably a troll. Because that's a troll question right there. What language do we talk? Oh yeah, we talk German. We've been talking German for the past 40 minutes. We've been talking French. Sorry, I forgot. It wasn't German, it was French we were talking. I'm just getting familiar with my languages. Troll, did you read the pinned thing down there that says ask any questions in all caps? You see that, Troll? Or are you just blind? You're probably just blind. Don't worry, FBI is going to let you go soon. Troll. FBI is letting you go. You suck as a troll. You suck.
With big man, I've seen my father have to put up with all kinds of stuff. He was a big man. He raised a family. He went down south, and he had to go around to the back door with his wife. We're not asking for anything. We're not asking for any favor.
Oh, hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. So I, the prophet, am hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and is being practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way. And without understanding, they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, or economically, etc. in their present condition of their endeavorment in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. They will not refrain from their sinful ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fought the Southerner for all these great misuses. But I have traveled in the South and have examined the conditions there. And it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. Does it sound that he cleared something up for them? Because they will not refrain from their sinful ways of calling themselves Negro, Black, Colored, African, and all these fictions. Because they have not refrained from their sinful way of that has caused Jim Crowism. That has caused segregation. That has caused everything that brings harm to human life. Us taking that position of calling ourselves something that we're not. And then because we're the founders of civilization, and everybody think that they can call themselves what they're not. Europeans calling themselves Americans, and Europeans calling themselves tribes of Indians, and open the floodgates for fraud to happen, which is why right now fraud is happening. And fraud is happening so hard, but everybody's not down. Everybody's not down with it. Everybody's not down with it. And when people like RCMP are telling you that they're not down with it, you should probably start realizing that somebody's playing you. Just like they've been telling you in the 60s, complaining to these Europeans. Them sitting there complaining is them getting played. Because all these Europeans could come together, cut everybody a check, and you're fine. They already are, but they already know. Yeah, you're going to have to do your own on this one. But this one was interesting. Because this is the RCMP. The RCMP, the Royal Mounted Police. Royal Mounted Police. And the Royal Mounted Police are in their jurisdiction nationalizing. About us. This letter was created from the collective thoughts, beliefs, and opinions of actively serving police officers of the Royal Canadian Mounted Police from across the country. We have a wealth of experience, which includes but is not limited to general duty, federal serious and organized crime, school liaison, Prime Minister Protection Detail, Emergency Response Team, Media Relations, and Combined Forces Special Enforcement Unit. We come from various ranks, levels of experience, communities, cultural backgrounds, religious beliefs, and vaccination statuses. Together, we are the Mounties for Freedom. We are individual police officers who united in the belief that citizens, including federal employees, should not be forced and coerced into taking a medical intervention. Mounties for Freedom. Now, when you're starting to study this information and things of the Moorish paradigm are ever a parent, it's for you to know that you're on the path. Right? Only a Moor would find this and send it to a Moor, and send it to a Moor, and send it to a Moor, and send it to a Moor. Only a Moor would be in the position to have this, to present it. Because the average individuals, they're not on freedom, even though everybody else is. Even various ranks, levels of experience, communities, cultural backgrounds, religious beliefs, and vaccination statuses are about freedom. The Mounties for freedom? Because remember, you have to go do your research on the Mounties, and you see they murdered indigenous people and all that. So don't get, blown away. But recognize that everyone knows they're not going to be somebody's ward if it comes down to whatever. They're not playing wardship games. They're not playing you're telling me do this and do that. It's not going down like that. What is that? That's national principles they're standing on. For these Mounties to say this, for them to take this stance as the Royal Canadian Mounties, remember, we're talking about certain people's jurisdiction, and not everybody's stuff. This is in their order. In their order. Because clearly there's also vaccinated people who think that this is some BS. And out here, if the Mounties are saying something, then you know that they know who they're talking to. They know who they're making amends to. Because again, everything starts from us being classified Negro, black, colored. That's how all the other fraud was able to happen. Because Noble Drew Ali's position was the takeover. Everything getting back into our hands. They either get down what we're doing or go back to where you come from. 1920s. Everything was done. Everybody knows Oscar the Priest. And Oscar the Priest was in office because of Moors. He wasn't in office because of black voters. He was in office because of Moorish voters. That's how many Moors there were at that time. And if you don't know Oscar the Priest, go look him up. Got pictures with him and the prophet. So when you say Mounties for freedom, with a Moorish mindset, freedom is what we're looking at. And everything else is, we already know what's up. They're giving some reference points for the people to have a perspective, have a mindset like what the Moors have. Because they dropped it on you. 19 pages or whatever it is. They dropped it on you. That you can't even debate anything. Nothing. So if they're saying it, if they're repping for freedom, if they can say they're united, there's some highwaymen, then what's wrong with our people? Why don't you want to unite? Remember, this is their own order. You could say that's their own nation, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. That's their own jurisdiction. And they're the highest of the law enforcement jurisdictions in the corporate jurisdiction. And all the atrocities that they did, the amount of dirt they have on RCMP. They are still finding it within themselves to speak for people's freedom. Because they know they're about to lose theirs. And they're not playing that stuff. They throw everybody under the bus so everybody could be free. Why would they go this hard and then why would nobody talk about it? This is RCMP talking. This is not some black group or whatever. Our stance. In August 2021, Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau announced federal public servants need to be fully vaccinated and that for those without medical exemption who choose not to be vaccinated, there will be consequences. Since that statement, many federal employees have been told that they will be sent home without pay for refusing to receive a contested medical treatment. We have united in the belief that people should not be forced or coerced into receiving the current COVID-19 treatments. It should be voluntary. We stand united against the forced and coerced medical intervention of Canadians and against the discrimination faced by those who have exercised their right to bodily autonomy. Now remember, you're going to say bodily autonomy, then that means you have to give up the pork chops and all the other stuff too. Right? You can't talk about, well, I don't want to take the vaccine, but then you're killing the double Big Mac with bacon. You're guzzling Coke every day. If you have a right to bodily autonomy, don't play yourself. We believe in democracy, right? They play themselves there. Because if you got the autonomy, then why are you talking about democracies and stuff like that? The Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms and the Bill of Rights. This is not about whether people should be vaccinated. That is a personal choice. Right? Remember, they're throwing everyone under the bus because they're trying to take their stuff. And they're not having it. Right? Now again, going back to Moors, right? And right, so remember, this is the Mounties for Freedom, right? The law our primary duty as peace officers in the RCMP is the preservation of peace. Oh, so another principle? Oh, this is... Woo! Another one of the Moorish principles? What are they really talking about? We have never witnessed the level of division in our country as we currently see from the COVID-19 pandemic. It is our responsibility now more than ever to make all efforts at preserving the peace in our country. Remember, if these are the highest people and they're saying that they're peace officers, then what's that mean about the guys who's kicking your ass? What's that mean about them? They're peace officers, right? Oh, so then if these are the highest guys, don't you could probably go to them and complain instead of going to ombudsmen and all these people who work for the people who are doing. You going to chiefs of police to complain about something? Maybe you should go to who the real law enforcement is out here. But don't forget they're double talking, so don't go too nuts. Don't think they're your Jesus now. I know you're Christian, baby, but don't make them Jesus. Slow down. The Charter of Rights and Freedoms protects fundamental rights and freedoms essential to keeping Canada a free and democratic society. I'm going to play this off again. The Canadian Bill of Rights adds, the Canadian nation is founded upon principles that acknowledge the dignity and worth of the human person and the position of the family in a society of free men and free institutions. Free men, free institutions? Well, hold on a second. Let's go back to this Drew Ali guy. Nobody looked at his stuff. Nobody looked at his stuff, but let's just see. Hold on a second. It said free. Let's see what's going on here. Okay. I love my people, and I desire their unity and mine back to their own national and divine standard, because day by day they have been violating the national and constitutional laws of their government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is no more than right that the law should be enforced upon all other American citizens alike. In all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principles, because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name, because they place their trust upon issues and names formed by their forefathers. So the arrangement for them is the Charter of Rights, that you can't violate the Canadian citizens and you can't do this and that, you can't do that because they're citizens and we have rights. They're going back to their law. They're going back to their stuff. That's guaranteeing them certain rights. And one of their rights is the right to the body. The right to the body. Remember, these are Mounties for freedom. Always remember that they are the Mounties for freedom. And their duty is the preservation of the peace. And they're the highest. They're the highest ones. They're the ones with the authority. They're taking their position. And again, you know, yeah, you could just look it up. Mounties for Peace. Mounties for Peace. Mounties for Freedom.ca. Mounties number 4 freedom.ca. And they went in. They went in pretty good. You know, just go read the document and know that that's not just, you know, some by the side organization complaining about something. That's Royal Canadian Mounted Police. That's the Queen's people. And you already know that corpse is Queen's corpse. So if Queen's corpse is talking, who's really talking? If the Queen's horsemen are standing up, the Queen is saying anything, should let you know something. If you want to play, you know, you're in those jurisdictions and all that stuff and you're forcing this and that. Because clearly once you read the thing, you know that if RCMP knows what's up, then everybody else knows what's up. And people have to be supremely violating. People have to be supremely violating and losing their stuff. Why now they're mad and they're talking up? Because if it wasn't touching them, they wouldn't even care. The fire's touching some of their coattails. And they're like, forget this. You guys have to stop this stuff. This is we're not riding with it. We're not enforcing. We have nothing to do with this madness. Right? All the stadiums are full or whatever. Stop the BS. Ain't nothing going on. Stop it. But you know, they ain't stopping anything. They got their agenda. So make sure you have yours. Honors to all the Moors. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. Don't forget this Thursday, Sons of Allah. MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, Blog Talk Radio. Don't forget, it's always rvbaypublications.com. It's always rvbaypublications.com. Don't forget Khalifa Media. And keep studying. Honors to all the Moors that study. Keep studying. Honors to all the Moors that are unifying. Keep the doors open. Honors to all the Moors worldwide. worldwide. Peace and love to all. Honors to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Oh yeah, and if you don't listen to the Prophet, this is how you're ending up. Like the black guys we were watching earlier, who don't know themselves. Study, study, study. Islam to all Moors.